Hey, has Mark done the hot
Golf's
seat
no
before?
different from hockey. Requires talent, self-discipline.
Golf requires goofy pants and a fat ass. You should talk to my neighbor, the accountant, probably a great golfer, huge ass.
How do you measure yourself with other golfers? By height.
It's a very, very special honor.
I'm Paula Creamer, and you're listening.
Well, we're waiting.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, a.k.a. John Kreese from Cobra Kai, and you're listening to
Quiet, Please.
Let the word go out from here across the land. Let Daddy Noonan approve.
Hiya, boys. Nice day for golf, ain't it? Quiet, please. Oh, you got secrets, eh?
Hey, this is Shooter McGavin. You're listening to the...
Hey, you guys. Hey, we're trying to have a podcast over here.
Welcome once again to Quiet Please, the Golf Podcast. I'm Alan Depew, and every week we talk the latest topics that are shaping the game we love with sometimes some guest co-hosts that can help give some inside scoop, and we've got one with us tonight. As always, join us on the virtual living room here. We've got Boston Bob Baldessari. Hello, Bobby.
Good evening. You're wearing the AFC Eastern Conference East Division. I'm so excited.
Forget it, Bob.
Bob, hold that thought. Let me go over to Andy, and we'll come back to you. So
we got the hat.
Savant also wearing a Pat's hat. Andy Hydorn.
And so happy to be here with this illustrious group of people.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Media, I was talking with someone today, and they said, "Oh my God, I can't see his name's everywhere." Brendan Elliott.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. And Bobby, I'm going to come back to you now. You got anything else to add? Eastern Conference.
Division Conference World Champions. We're everything again. We're back, baby.
We are back indeed. And he's an Eagles fan, but we're going to let him into this Patriots conversation. The prettiest podcaster in golf, Christian Azamis.
I respect all you boys. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
And I mentioned him. I touched on it. He is the man with some inside scoop on so many different topics. Welcome back to the show, PGA Master Golf Professional, Mark Bradley. Hello, sir.
Gentlemen, how are you? It's nice to be here.
Golf clap.
Golf clap.
Golf clap. Absolutely.
Hey, our guest is from New England, so if we're going to call him, we got to say, Mark. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, you know what it is? And I'll tell you, and I don't mind saying it because I don't care, but like my mother and sister and everybody, it's Maki. Maki, right, Bobby?
Exactly.
Love it. Yep.
You know, it's, and I'm a Patriots fan, and just like Keegan, Celtics is my favorite team of all of the big-time professional sports in Boston, and then, of course, the Bruins and the Red Sox, who I love, and the Boston Commons, the Frogs.
And
we're going to talk about on TGL.
Just to remind our listeners, Mark happens to be the father of a young Keegan Bradley. For the record.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I tell you what, I was going to lead with some news out of Frisco, but Mark set me up for the perfect segue. TGL ×2.
Yeah.
BE. We're going to go to you, Mr. Media Man. What's going on?
I'll first touch on the guys, and then we'll talk a little bit about the ladies coming up soon. I watched the first two matches. I didn't catch this last one where Billy Ho did it again and got the W for those guys. But really good matches out of the gate, the first two. And I think that's what was lacking in the debut of last year's. We didn't have that. And it was exciting. Like, I was really into it. And making long putts there at the end sure helps. But I think the changes they made with the green is a good thing. I was a little like when we had our guest on talking about architecture a couple weeks ago. I wasn't quite sure of some of the more computer game-ish type setups for the holes, but they really played well. I really liked those. And of course, it was really good to see Boston get that W. Get that monkey off their back. And I do think they're really going to have a good shot, come playoff time.
Yeah, I sure hope so. The ratings were up too.
Yep.
Which was, important to keep the thing going, and then the new holes that were designed by Gil Hans, and I think that turned out to be fun. The one under the rock and through the archway and all of that, and then Boston got their first win, and the young kid from I think
Wellesley.
Is it Wellesley?
Yeah.
Thornbornson. So we're pulling for him. We always have. So that was fun that he came out, and he really enjoyed playing with Rory and Keegan, and I thought it was really cool that Keegan spent 10 hours leading up to that match on what was it, Monday night, the other night. 10 hours, and 5 of which he spent with Thornbornson.
Wow.
To help him, figure out how to hit this and that and the whole thing. So, that's Keegan. He's a hardworking guy, no matter what it is, and he jokes that he's the king of exhibition golf.
Yeah,
he is right
killed
now.
It in his skins. He could have won all 18.
Yeah.
And then the Golf Channel Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
He did well there. That's when he yelled out, "I'm the king of exhibition golf." And that was Shane. Shane kind of said, "You're the king." And so that was good. And, now we're moving on to Sony next week. And I'll be heading there. I leave Monday. I'm going to go to the Sony.
Nice.
And that's where his career started 16 years ago when I was there on the 10th tee.
Right.
Nice.
He was first time he ever hit a shot on the PGA Tour. 10th tee at Wailea, and it was with Scott Stallings and a Monday qualifier named Tony Finau. So that was
cool.
Yeah. But anyway, back to TGL. I think it played well. I get a hold of my friends and tell them, tune in, and let me know what you think. And the words I'm hearing is very entertaining.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's all about. And the other thing too is I've been to this SoFi, thank you. And the kids are there, and all kinds of young kids, and they are within arm's length of their heroes, the biggest names in golf. So it's hopefully it'll keep going, and it seems to be a good deal. I can't wait till it comes back on again. I got a horse in the race, so that's a little different deal. I even have a couple of friends that aren't that excited about it. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But right now, ESPN's happy, and I hope Rory and Tiger are happy about it because they got a lot invested in this.
Mark's setting me up with all the segues. So speaking to our kid on here,
yeah,
Christian. What's your thoughts on TGL? What's your thoughts on the betting? I know that you don't never do that, but what do you think about the fact that they broke in with the NFL Harbaugh being let go in the telecast?
Well, you just threw 7 things at me, so let me digest them all at once for a second.
Okay.
Now, first off, the betting part, I'm giving that up because I have a wedding to pay for this year, so I'm going into my cheat phase.
You are so responsible.
Trying my best. And then when it comes to TGL, I actually watched a little bit of it first, and it was awesome. I think it's a very cool concept. I'm excited to see what they do the rest of the season. And I think it's just the players that they have, they're stacked. Most teams are likable guys, high caliber players. So I'm very excited to see how the rest of the season turns out personally. And then when it comes to the Harbaugh news, when I told you before we got on air, before Mark hopped on, it was either one of the coaches, in my opinion, whoever lost that game, I think was going to get fired. I think both teams are at that point, and they're at that saying, Mike Tomlin is ready. I think the Steelers potentially are ready to move on. Yes, he's had one hell of a career. And same goes for Harbaugh. I mean, Harbaugh will get a job tomorrow if wherever he wants to go. And if Mike Tomlin was in that situation, it'd be the exact same thing. So they're both Hall of Fame coaches at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And Bobby, the news with the ladies, would you like to chime in on that?
Well, I figured that at some point that might happen, maybe a little bit sooner than I thought, second year into TGL and everything. But I think it's going to be a great opportunity for the ladies. I think they've got a lot of personality, a lot of charisma that they can show with this type of environment. So, yeah, I'm happy for that.
That's a perfect shot in the arm for the LPGA because nobody like the men have had the opportunity through Full Swing and a lot of the other things that are happening outside the ropes, and I think the women just haven't had that opportunity yet. And this is a really big shot in the arm for them.
Andy, anything to add?
Yeah, I would just add that I think the changes that they did make have all been great. I love the new green complex. I love the fact that it's a little more realistic and less cartoony.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. I do love the cartoony holes. Like I think that's a cool aspect of what they're doing.
I do too.
And it was awesome rooting for Michael Thorbjornsen.
Yes.
Because you could tell how into it he was, and he answered the bell. Like it was awesome. The one complaint I do have is I think doing a 5 o'clock on a Tuesday sucks.
Yeah.
So it'd be awesome.
It's 3 o'clock here in Wyoming.
Yeah.
So,
it'd be awesome if they were all
somebody in the game.
Like 7 or even 8 or 9. Like it would be awesome if they were all at those type of hours. But I'm sure they have a reason and a method to what they're doing schedule wise. But all in all, I love TGL. I loved it last year and I love it more.
I do have one question. Bobby or Christian, I can't remember which one of you two. Did Chris Gotterup wedge it in on one? That did happen, right?
He did. Yeah, he made it.
Did you hear that, Andy?
Did you hear that? Gotterup.
Yeah. Oh, he should have been on the Ryder Cup team then.
Well, that's a perfect conversation point.
Now here's another segue. Here we go. Into that. Yeah. No.
Should he have been on the Ryder Cup team? No, we're not going to put Mark in that position.
Yeah, we're not.
Hey, the way I look at it is, Keegan picked 6 guys, and they got 9.5 points.
Yeah.
So, they got 9.5 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people go, the picks, and it's the picks. The picks were great.
Yep.
So anyway, there's that.
Okay, that can of worms is open. I'm not talking about the picks. I'm talking about the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, let's leave that to Mr. Elliott. I'm sure you may have a question or two.
Well, I'll tell you this, Mark. I wrote quite a few stories that week, and there were some pictures of you and Keegan that were really cool, like him bending down by a green and sitting next to you, and knowing you guys a little bit, it was just so cool to see that dynamic of a PGA professional with his son who's leading the Ryder Cup team, and of course, what happened, but I still think that there's a lot of kudos that should go out to Keegan, because you can tell he really put the work in, and that comeback on Sunday was historic. Well, regardless of the outcome, it was a really historic run. The fan thing, I'm not happy about that. I don't think anybody's happy about that. But all in all,
I got an answer for that. But
go ahead. I want to hear
what
that.
What you're saying is awesome. And thank you for saying that. And, they did. They won or tied 11 matches on Sunday. And I had Webb Simpson come up to me, and I can't relate the story right now because I'll start crying. And you got the emotions going in me again because he did do a good job.
Yeah.
And but it was an amazing experience. I'm trying to think where I was going with this whole thing with why I interrupted you. Go ahead though, man.
No, I was touching on the crowd, and I think that's where.
Oh, okay. There's my answer. You got to cut off the booze. Sorry.
Yep.
come on. You got to stop the booze earlier or whatever. I thought that what the PGA did was the food was free. It was like unbelievable. So that was really great. I mean, it wasn't free, and if you had to pay for a ticket, I'll guarantee you that. And the beer, of which I had none, was like $20 a bottle. I don't know what it was. Insanity. But listen, it's like the seventh inning at a Red Sox game, Bobby.
Right.
Shut off the booze. It's done. Because it changed. You could feel it. I'm inside the ropes. And in the morning, it was, civil enough. And I think it's like Rory said, it only takes, 50,000 people there. So 500, what's that, 10%?
Mm-hmm.
And they can ruin the whole thing. And they were nasty. I wish the press would stop talking about the thrown bottle towards Rory's lovely wife. It wasn't thrown. The guy had it up in the air and a guy slapped it out of his hand. Why doesn't the press talk about that? But I don't want to defend anything when it comes to there was some bad behavior, and I heard it. I'm inside there going, gee whiz. And but it only takes 10%, and they can ruin it. And apparently they did, because it's the worst ever. I don't know. It was, but going back to the photos that you're talking about, Brendan, thank you. I mean,
yeah,
I posted those on Facebook as well.
Yep.
Shared them or whatever the heck you do. And those were not photos that I took. That was, some awesome media people out there that picked up a couple of shots, and, I'll take those with me wherever I go. And the one where I have my hand on a shoulder, it's that was even before the competition began.
Yeah.
It was, I realized that after it was all over, that forget about what it took out of Keegan and the guys who played and everybody else, because it took out a lot. You've heard it all. It's been all over the press. Gaping hole in my career. I'll never get over it. And he means it. That's it. And I realized that it was a year and a half in which it took a lot out of me too.
Yeah.
When it was over, I'll tell you what, I just I jumped in my vehicle and I headed north through Yellowstone National Park. There was the government shutdown was going on. So I had to check and see if the gate was going to be open at the south entrance, National Park, shutdown. And I drove up through Yellowstone. I went up into Montana. I came back around and ended up in Ennis, Montana. And I hired a guide and floated the Madison River, who my daughter's named after, 2 days in a row. Caught some beautiful trout, and just myself with the guide. And I'm still sort of staying in the background after all this thing is over, and that's okay by me. But it was an amazing thing. I'll tell you, while I was there, I was able to shake hands with President Trump. And so after it was all over, Keegan sent me a voicemail from the president. And he was congratulating Keegan. First of all, Keegan, I don't know what the situation. You got to answer the phone when it's the president of the United. He's devastated. He's over here. Whatever he was doing, he didn't take the call, and he sent me the message. And the message was that he felt that, like you said, Brendan, he kept the spirit of that team up when they were down 11.5 to 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
And they won or tied 11 out of 12 matches. And he applauded him for doing that. And then he said, I want you to come and be my guest at the White House and tee it up. And he said, and bring your dad. So now so Keegan sends me this message from the president. And the next day, President Trump called Keegan again, and he took the call. And he said, bring your father. And so Keegan got a hold of me and said, hey, Dad, what are you doing next weekend? Ay. And we got to stay at the White House, and we had dinner with the president, and it was just him, and he gave us the tour. Keegan stayed in the Lincoln bedroom with Jillian, and the kids were upstairs.
Wow.
I'm across the hall in the Queen's bedroom, where Queen Elizabeth has stayed there 25 times. We get up in the morning, and we got the motorcade, and we go to Trump National. It's on the Potomac.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the message that I'd like to put across is I was so comfortable with him the whole time. Dinner, walking around the White House, and doing all this. But when we got on the golf course, it was just, we were teeing it up. He called me partner, and I called him Podsy. He shoved. I made Podsy. I made a birdie on a par 3, and made a putt. And he came on, he shoved me. Nice putt. So golf was this great sort of common denominator. And it was super fun. And he can play. Tell you, he's 79-year-old man. He's got some club hit speed that all of us, I mean it. It's just really impressive. Smack the crap out of it. And he's good.
That's got some game. Yeah. Hey, Mark,
He probably has a better shoulder turn than Alan.
Yeah, right. Hey, Mark, I know.
Sorry, Papa Dukes.
Brendan brought up the photos, but I know on Facebook you posted a really, really cool photo recently of you and Keegan in the main open years ago. I mean, I love that. But you're right that that's a neat thing about golf and the different ages, different abilities, how powerful you are. But and you and I were talking a few weeks ago when you were sharing some of those amazing emotional stories in the locker room, and whatever you feel comfortable sharing. But I can't stop thinking about what you had said. It's just, it's really amazing. And, how the players and everybody thought about Keegan.
And he talked about the Patriots comeback against the Falcons, right?
Mm-hmm.
28-3. He talked about that. What else did he bring up? The Red Sox coming back from 3 down to the Yankees, win 4 in a row. Brought that up. He goes, this can happen. And Webb came up to me in the 8th hole. I've decided to follow Cam Young. He was first off in the singles. And I became very friendly with Cam's mom and dad. And, he's a fellow PGA club professional, Sleepy Hollow, and a really good guy. His mom is awesome. And so we, hit it off and, chatted and visited and walked the golf. So I walked with Cam. And on the 8th hole, that's the only hole, par 3. It's the only one that has water on it, right? Par 3 down the hill. And Webb Simpson, who is, he's a wonderful young man. He just came up.
Yeah, you were telling me this one, and it was got me.
Yeah, and he told him, that he got him fired up.
Yeah.
And he said, I just, I want you to know that we love him.
Yep.
That's awesome.
See what I mean? With you guys, I can't even tell the story. It still hits. But it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. He's hugging me. We're walking down the fairway. Where am I supposed to look, you guys? Now I see myself up there and there.
just look forward, Mark.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, that was a highlight for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't over yet either. We were still in it. And so it was, we'll see where it all leads. It's not like Keegan can say, well, I'll give this another try another time. You don't say, I'm going to be the captain of the Ryder Cup. He's in the same slot he was in back in 2023 when, he can still make this team go in Ireland.
Oh, of course.
Oh, easily he can make that team.
He can still
100%.
make this team. So what's the PGA going to do? Are they going to ask him to be? I don't know. I think Tiger, obviously, he's keeping it close to the vest. But if it's Tiger, hey, awesome. And then, Keegan, play hard and see if you can make this thing.
Christian, you were gonna say?
No, just going off of the Ryder Cup from somebody who's younger, right? Like growing up, I'm 29, so growing up, I watched Keegan, right? He was a big influence for kids at least where I grew up in Syracuse, and I love the firepower that he brought on the golf course, and like the game that he played, but more so the person that he was off the course. Honestly, I mean, that's just who I try to look up to when I was growing up playing junior golf. It was
cool.
him. It was him, Spieth. It was, Ricky Fowler, those guys, that group, that core. And it was just awesome to see. And I think when it came to the team itself, like there was nobody in that could have been in that position to bring that team back on that Sunday to get to that point of potentially winning. I felt like Keegan was the only person that could have done that in that situation going into Bethpage, a very hostile environment when it comes to the Europeans coming into that golf course. It's already a very tough golf course to play, but I think having that firepower and never giving up, I think that was a huge factor in what they did on Sunday. And it all starts with the top. He was a fantastic coach.
Yeah, thanks for saying that.
And Mark, I'm not just saying that because you're on. I'd say that to the guys. I'd say it to anybody else. I remember texting my dad telling him that I don't think Keegan did a good job. He did a great job. Regardless of the outcome, I thought it was awesome personally.
8.5 points.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a record.
But I mean, honestly, too, this past season, Keegan was playing phenomenal golf. Probably arguably some of the best in his career.
Yeah.
And I think going into 26,
tough spot.
right, yeah, but I think going into this season coming up, going into the Sony next week, I would not even be slightly surprised if there was a major in that category this year, multiple wins on the tour. I mean, I think that when you look at his caliber of what he's done this past season going into this one, I don't know this to be certain, but he's definitely got the Ryder Cup circled in Ireland. I think the USA team would do a disgrace by not putting him on the team, if I'm being honest with you. He should have a spot on that team, and I think he's more than deserved it. And I think when you go, that's kind of like going into another hostile environment, and in Ireland, you need some firepower. You need some people that are going to pump each other up. If I was playing in a scramble, I would want Keegan. I mean, not only does he bomb it down the middle, something
you're
Allen
right,
can't
Christian.
do.
You're totally right. He's such a good team player. Look what he did with Phil. Look what he did with Wyndham Clark at the President's Cup, and at the President's Cup, he's a good teammate, and
He's
that's
just a
why
great person.
taking him off the, not picking himself, it's he can't make it up. And here we're going into another situation that could happen again. We'll see.
Yeah.
I just know that.
Yeah, but he made the best decision for Team USA at that particular time, and no one knows what he had to go through unless you were in his position. The media can say what they want. We can say whatever we want when it comes to, he should have been on the team. He shouldn't have been on the team. But at the end of the day, he had to make the decision that was best, and that's the team that he felt like was going to win. And I guarantee you, if he was sitting here right now, he would say, I wouldn't have changed anything. Because
well said, man. You're right.
That's the team he believed in.
Well said.
So I have a question, Mark. The aftermath of this, and it's always going to happen this way, but how tough was this for Keegan? All the criticism and how tough was it for him?
Brutal.
Yeah,
it's brutal. He doesn't even, he's a very private person. He stays very close to the vest, as they say, and so he's, he kind of went into a little cocoon situation over here, and I'm glad you brought that up, Andy, because there's a couple of things that I'd like to say that's even going on today, where on the social networks they're talking about how Luke Donald said that Keegan's been cold to him and been standoffish and this and that. It's BS. That's not true. So stop it, media. That's not true. I even got to say that to President Trump. I said, President Trump, I think there's some fake news in the sports reporting, just like in politics. Brendan, you know what I'm saying, man?
I hear you.
And
look,
so
the,
and then
the problem is though that in this world of internet news, everybody, the only way that anybody gets listened to is if they troll people, right?
Yeah,
It's either fake stuff or crazy opinions.
How about the culture, boys? It's all changed.
Yeah.
And boy, I don't know, Brendan and Christian, you guys, kind of grew up in it. For me, it's all changed. And so when I do my Facebook stuff or Instagram stuff, I just keep it to Keegan, and it's all positive. There's no politics. There's no religious nothing. It's just, come on, but when they sit there and they go, Rory had some words recently about Keegan, and they're teammates. They're hugging each other the other night on TGL. BS, fake news.
I think if anybody knows Keegan, and I don't know Keegan obviously, but I think he's the most likable guy on and off the golf course. I think if you can go ask any PGA professional that has played a round of golf with him or has not played a round of golf with him on tour, they would say that who are like the top 5 guys that you would love to grab a beer with or dinner with or play a round of golf with or whatever the case is. And I would be shocked if somebody didn't say Keegan.
He's very well respected out there. And
yeah.
For you guys to say that, basically for me, when it comes down to the, basics, when people say, when people say about your child they're a good kid, that's it. Thank you. We'll go with that.
Exactly.
So I worry that he's really going to kind of, I think this silly season stuff really helped him.
Oh, yeah.
Out there. Yeah, it really helped him because instead of otherwise, he's going to stay even more private than he already is. And with that, coming out and playing in the Skins game and the Golf Channel Challenge and all of that was fun stuff.
Yeah.
Mark, I gotta ask a question. I mean, in the tour, every week comes down to who's making the 10-footers, right?
Yeah.
Who's rolling the rock? And yes, Andy, I am talking about putting well. I mean, was that in the locker room? Was that topic of conversation? Hey, we're just not making the putts the first couple of days.
Yeah. I'm sure it was. I mean, I didn't get to see him that much, really. I mean, I'm inside the room, but I mean, I will say, and to touch on that, the greens were slower than Keegan wanted them, and I'm sure Kerry too. But I don't know where I was going with that. It's just it rained.
Yeah.
Everybody just take a breath here, and just say it rains so hard. They played lift, clean, and place on Friday, Saturday. Come on.
Right.
Now, and then the other thing, if it was Augusta, they have subvacs. So they suck the moisture out of the greens, keep them firm, keep them fast. They don't have that at Bethpage.
Right.
It's a public golf course. So, there's that too. I think Keegan turned out it was better to be in the rough than the fairway. It spun less. But you had to factor that in. I tell you the moment when I was thinking about talking with you guys, when you talk about the putting, the moment that really hit me was one of the best places to sit. There's all kinds and then I learned where to go and see scoreboards and get the good views. And then I could go right next to the green. I'm sitting right on there, right near these guys. And it was 17, par 3. Uh-huh. And I even forget. I know that Robert McNamara was in the group, whoever he was playing with. I don't even remember who our guys were because I just remember we had 15 feet. They had 66 feet. And I think it was Matt Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Hit his putt, and it went 15 feet by. And I'm going, okay, let's make this putt, United States. But if we don't, these guys got this 15-footer coming back. McIntyre steps up to it, and he makes it. And every time I turned around, they were just making it. And it's been that way on the Ryder Cup forever.
Yeah.
There's this mindset that the Europeans get into at the Ryder Cup that goes, we make everything. I was at Medina. I was 10 feet from Justin Rose when he made the 40-footer on 17 against Phil. Standing right there. Phil's made his 3. Off we go. I saw Ian Poulter make the putts that he made. They just make them there, and we don't. The team thing, the team play stuff, of which you guys we touched on, and Keegan's so good at. Look at him and Phil. But the Europeans are really good at that. And then you come back and you take a look at when we're individuals, singles, win or tie, 11 out of 12 matches, 8.5 points, tied a Ryder Cup record. Some other team had done it prior. But those sorts of things, and you guys saw it, Kristen, you saw it, everybody saw it, and so did the President of the United States. And I thanked him for recognizing the job that Keegan did on Sunday. But the most touching moment was Webb. And he said, if I don't see you again, I just want you to know, we love the guy. He killed for us. So, Keegan, let's see if we can get him on this team come to 2027. And
I was going to say this would be an ideal time. I have a kind of a follow-up question, but it segues into some breaking news in the golf industry, which is, you touched on it with alcohol sales. We all saw the videos going everywhere with FU Rory's going around and all kinds of chants. Even people lost jobs. Somebody's leaving his job, and we're sitting on here with 3 PGA members and a former one and myself. Bobby, some big news out of Frisco today, and go ahead. I'll let you take the wheel on this one.
Yeah, it was a little bit stunning. Half humorous, Mark. But if Keegan want to be the new CEO of the PGA, he's good at everything he does. But that was the breaking news that. A friend of mine, Derek Sprague, I've known Derek almost 30 years. Derek, his wife, Jennifer, and he came in as the CEO of the PGA of America, the organization for myself, Mark, Bradley, Brennan Elliott. Alan used to be a member. So 32,000 of us out there. And so Derek came in as a PGA member. So that was a big deal. But yeah, it's some family health issues or, family, his mother and mother-in-law back in New York State. So definitely taking top priority. So he's stepping down. I was on a Zoom call today at 10:30 with our PGA district. I don't know if you know, Mark, I'm now secretary of the Kentucky PGA. I decided to jump back in. So
secretary of the PGA?
The Kentucky secretary.
Kentucky secretary. Awesome, man.
Yeah. So
good for you.
Yeah. What the heck? I like to be involved. So but that we were brought up to speed on that today, and there'll be a quicker process to name the new CEO. The last process was about 9 months, 8 months, which were thorough and good. But this one, it'll go a little bit quicker. Derek will still be sort of in the mix as far as helping the transition, but we wish the best for Derek. I'll be reaching out to him tomorrow to give him my best.
Tell him I said hello. I liked him so much.
I will.
I mean, what an impressive career. Malone Country Club, right?
Right. Yep.
And he's an HP, and he moves up to general manager of Sawgrass.
Yeah, that was his last.
Hello,
yeah, my
and then CEO of the PGA. And gee whiz.
Yeah, my last day working at PGA America headquarters, and one of the jobs I had overseeing drive, chip, and putt. We had a drive, chip, and putt event at TPC Sawgrass. I spent most of the day with Derek. My last day, we were, talking about a bunch of stuff. So. He's a great guy. I mean,
he came up to me at the Ryder Cup.
He's a good guy.
He came up to me and he just said, we shook hands. And he said, hey, if you need anything, he gave me his phone number, his cell phone. And he was that way at the PGA. Yep. When I went to Quail Hollow, let me know if you need anything. And so I wish him all the best, and his mother and his mother-in-law. And he's a good man. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, we wish him the best. So that was the breaking news today. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm shocked.
And as I say that, I just realized So I've known Derek pretty much as long as Christian's been alive. That's making me feel wicked old.
Yeah.
I'm glad I can bring the age down in this podcast here, fellas. All right.
Well, I think Mark grouped Brendan with you, Christian. So
yeah,
Thank you.
B's
Yeah.
been.
I caught that one, Andy.
He's been peacocking here for the last 5 minutes.
I'm 29, but I act like I'm 50. So.
I got 30. I'll be 51 this year, Mark. So I appreciate that very much.
No, you're but still.
Mark, there's a lot of times where these guys are talking about people that are well before my time. I have no idea who they're talking about. So I just sit here in silence.
Yeah, so that could be a good thing. I'll trade with it. I don't think so. I'll be
Mark, we asked him if he ever hit a persimmon.
Yeah.
I have a whole set of persimmons in my spare room.
See that? He's a Renaissance man as well.
And he thought you asked if he ever ate a persimmon.
Yeah, I grew up with those. I think about it.
Fellow PGA member.
I'm going to be playing golf next week. Going to the Sony, and I'm going to get there on Monday.
Nice.
And we'll play Tuesday, and then Pro-Am on Wednesday, and then the tournament. And then I'm going to stay an extra couple of days, and I'm going to tee it up.
And you should.
So we'll see what happens. I'm getting into this Tai Chi stuff, guys.
Oh boy!
I swear to God.
Oh boy!
It's more. It's not like weights or anything.
I'm telling you,
it works. It does. You doing it, Alan?
I tried it and I failed.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes a day. So I'm 72. So I'm up there, but I will say this: our winter out here is really bad here in Jackson. And although up high at the big ski area, skiing's good, and I'll get in hopefully 40, 50 days this year on my skis, and that keeps me going.
Mark, it was my New Year's resolution to get in shape and get back to a 70-degree shoulder turn. So,
Yeah. I hear you. The length of my backswing is, that's why I'm going to keep going with this Tai Chi thing. I actually played pretty well with the president when I played with him. Keegan played brilliantly. So that was fun, but I limped in. I didn't finish strongly, which haunts me to this day. But I had some moments, and I was able to, John Radcliffe was the director of the CIA. He's like on the third or fourth hole, and I'm hitting it pretty good. And he sets up to the golf ball horribly. I mean, he's just all wide open, and his alignment's terrible. And I said, John, try this. And so I just got him so that I call it hide the right forearm from down the line. Just, let's get the tilt the spine and, rotate the shoulders, hide the forearm from down the line. And on we go. And sure enough, he steps up on the first hit and he smacks it just perfectly. And Mr. Trump was like laughing and he's going, oh my gosh, you got to help. And then I said, Mr. Trump, that's one of my Mount Rushmore swing tips. So I threw the little presidency thing in there. Yeah. And then, there's a few holes later, John is stepping up Radcliffe to hit his tee ball, and he's wide open. And so I went, stop, don't move. Just like a teacher. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, that's what I've done. And I stopped him. Don't move. And I went and stood down the line for him. I said, I can see your right forearm. Tilt your spine and rotate your shoulders a little bit. Hide it. And I actually used the term lock and load, which, we're surrounded. Guys, there's 70 golf carts out there full of security. Guys in full tactical gear. 2 boats on the Potomac with 50 millimeters mounted on this thing. And anyway, I stopped him just before he's going to hit it, and he stepped up, and didn't he just smack it down the middle? And the president's laughing, and so it was good. It was really it was good. We're playing with one of the PGA professionals from his staff, and he was a good player. And that's what President Trump wants with some of his professionals. He wants them to be able to play.
Yep.
And that's a whole nother subject. And, we got to sell shirts too, but you got to keep your game going. And when you're working 60 hours a week, you don't necessarily want to jump out there, but I digress.
Yeah. We need to talk about that one another
yes,
time.
we will, Bob.
Big time.
Well, all I remember is Ken Rayner was President Bush's kind of golf pro guru up at Cape Arundel.
Up in Maine.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And Ken got a lot of mileage out of that.
He did.
Yeah.
And I bet he was a great guy too, and probably
he was a great guy.
Pretty good player, the president. But no, that was an interesting thing, and I just appreciated from a father standpoint that he recognized that Keegan did a good job on Sunday, and overall he did a good job, and you guys brought it up, and that's my story, and I'm sticking with it too, and I'll get to talk to him a little bit when I go to Hawaii. But he's staying close to home and close to his kids, but you can't outwork him.
Nope.
You cannot outwork them. And if you go to the driving range at Bears or at Grove, if there's another guy out there working, Keegan won't stop until that guy leaves. It's the Irish in him.
Yeah.
The Yankee, the Northeastern mindset where he doesn't feel, and I think I can say this and it's okay because it's modest on his point. I disagree with him, but he goes, Dad, I'm not as talented as those guys, so I have to outwork them. And that's what he believes. I go, Keegan, you don't think you're talented? And he goes, no, not like, in that particular time we discussed it, not like a DJ or a JT or a Rory. He goes, no, Dad. And so I need to work harder, and hey, it's working, so keep going. And that's for everybody, and that's any junior.
Mm-hmm.
We can see it.
Look at the flip side of that, though, right? Like the guy or the kid who thinks he is talented and therefore doesn't have that inner drive to work. So
good point.
Probably what's made Keegan the player he is that maybe there is a little fear in him that maybe he needs to work harder, and therefore he does.
That's the word, fear.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point, and that's it. He just feels like, and he does. And how about he spends 10 hours this past week at the SoFi? That's, that's good stuff. So we'll see what happens here. He almost won this tournament, the Sony, a couple of years ago. It was Grayson Murray. Remember that? Beat him in a play.
Yep.
And so that's a tragic story there.
Yeah.
But he plays this course well. It's the opposite of Kapalua. It's too bad what happened at Kapalua. I guess it's back though. I heard.
Yeah,
someone say recently it's pure.
It rained.
It rained.
That?
It rained.
Yeah, the pineapple company shutting the water off on them.
Gonna be a few birdies
because that's what it is.
Gonna be a few birdies at the Sony, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I'll tell you the thing about that course. It's tight. You can't be slapping it around out there. You got to keep it in front of you, and so it's not long, but it's what wins it 12 under, so it's not.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to spend some time with some good friends. We're going to tee it up, and it'd be good to see Keegan and hopefully get to pull him aside. And I got a couple of questions for him that I ask him live. And it's some of it's Ryder Cup, but he just talks about how it's like he has a love affair, and he ain't getting anything in return. I think he's finding out though that except for the trolls, people don't hold it against him.
No.
And then people say, well, he should have done more to help control the crowd. There's one quote.
People who say that don't know golf.
What's that?
People who say that about him.
Yeah.
Oh, he should have done more.
Yeah.
Don't know golf.
No, they don't. And one of the things, again, getting back to the press and the media, is they had a quote from Keegan after day one, and he goes, well, I was out there, and, after day one, it wasn't that bad. Well, they put that on Saturday afternoon when it was horrible. No, update it, because Keegan was upset with all of that. What are you going to do?
Right.
But turn the tap off.
Andy?
Yes, sir.
18th green.
So my final thought this week is a wee bit Ryder Cup centric, because Mark, it's always great to have you on. And this does bring back some thoughts and feelings about the Ryder Cup. And I would say the one thing that's not fair at all, and it goes both ways, is the losing captain's always going to get way more criticism than they deserve, and the winning captain's always going to get way more credit than they deserve.
Yep.
And I bet nobody really understands that until they go through it. And it's kind of tough when something like this happens. And I follow Mark Hensby, who's a Australian, senior tour player.
Yeah.
And he just last week put something on social. He said that, hey, I just got back and watched a little of the Ryder Cup. And he goes, the thing that people are tending not to acknowledge is how damn good the Europeans played.
Yeah.
And we all saw it. We all saw those putts going in. We all saw, and everyone wants to talk about, strategy and picks and, tugging at the cape of the green superintendent to make the greens faster. Everyone wants to talk about all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the guys from Europe were playing incredible golf. So it's not fair. And
yes, they were.
I'm hoping that Keegan's playing on the next Ryder Cup team.
Thank you very much. And I'll tell you, Keegan's this is going to motivate him. And, I just don't want him to turn too far inward. I want him to go ahead and this is why the silly season, I kind of hate to call it that. It's kind of fun. Maybe. But anyway, it helped bridge the gap from the Ryder Cup to, okay, let's tee it up here on next week at the Sony and let's get going. And I think he's going to be tough, because he's playing the best golf of his life, and he has now for a couple of years.
That's good stuff. BE.
To start my final thoughts, thank you, Mark. It's always awesome having you on. Wicked awesome. And I'm a New Yorker, not a New Englander. So wicked awesome to have you on. One thing I wanted to bring up is, you guys know, a couple of years ago I lost a bunch of weight. Well, last year I put most of that back on, and so now you guys talked about the Tai Chi. I started, being a wrestling fan, the DDP yoga, Diamond Dallas Page yoga. I started this week.
Good.
I'm telling you, after the first couple of days, I'm feeling better than I've ever felt. And then I'm also going to start working with a guy that Keegan actually works with, Nero Peak Pro, Andy Matthews, doing some breathing techniques and the power of breathing. So you guys might see Keegan putting his hand on his stomach and part of his pre-shot routine. That's all breath work. So that's what I'm looking forward to this year, just getting back into shape, getting back on the course much more than I did last year. That's my final thought.
Christian, when you hit 30, you'll understand what we're talking about. But what's your final thoughts at this point?
I hit 30 in about 9 months, right before I get married. So I guess that's when it all goes downhill. No, I'm kidding. No, from what Mark was saying, it sounds like I need to throw a few bucks on Keegan this week at the Sony. So maybe, just maybe. No, but in all seriousness,
he plays that course well.
He does. He always does. Mark, obviously a pleasure. Always great having you on. I love following you along on social media, watching you, follow Keegan just at different tournaments. And please give him our best, and wish him nothing but the best moving forward as far as the golf career goes and whatever else he wants to do. in life. I think I'm expecting a huge year out of him, and I know that he's going to have a great golfing career this year, great season ahead. So just can't wait for him to put on those red, white, and blue stripes in Ireland, and I'll be saying that every day. So, but that's my final thought. Just thank you again for taking the time as always, and again, good luck to Keegan.
Bourbon Bob.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, I'll echo everybody. We can't thank you enough, my friend, for coming on. It's always a pleasure. We have the best time. You have the best stories. I'm serious about if Keegan has a little free time to be CEO of the PGA, something to think about. I want to make a quick mention because when you and I were talking, I didn't realize you had been skiing so long, 68 years on the slopes.
68 years.
You've been a United States ski instructor. So you blend the green grass time, and then when the green grass is not there, the slope. So that's a lot of talent for you to go back and forth skiing to golf. And I'm going to throw in I try to throw in these quick, kind of thought process for golfers out there, because I was at the Woodford Club in the clubhouse today. The weather was decent, but it's winter. And I see everybody in the first tee not warming up, bulky clothing, and they're dribbling it. They're blocking it dead right. They're pull hooking it left. So when you're playing in the winter, it's great. Think about walking, you'll stay warm. But also, and you guys know my mantra, nobody ever hits enough clubs. So in the wintertime, you're going to lose a lot of distance anyways, bulked up, the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Hit 2 or 3 extra clubs. The ball's just not going that far. But winter weather is a pretty good time to enjoy golf.
Good point. Good tip.
Andy, I was not playing at the Woodford Club today. I was not dribbling it off the first day. Mark, final thoughts to you, sir.
Oh, well, let's see. I'm very excited to go and watch Keegan play next week. See some good friends. Again, it was 16 years ago that I flew to Hawaii. I'd never been there before. And I saw him tee it up again with Tony Finau and Scott Stallings. And it was the first shot he ever hit on the PGA Tour. And for someone who's club professional and his son at 6 years of age, what do you want to be when you grow up? First grade assignment. And it's a picture of a golfer. And he goes, I want to be a PGA Tour player. And the G's backwards and the Tour is just TR and the R's back, whatever. That's what he said. And to go out there and see him achieve that goal from a father's standpoint was amazing. So it's going to be really fun to return to that spot and watch him play that golf course again. And then again, I think he's fired up. He's playing the best golf of his life. I think he is too. I just see his swing. It's pretty pure. His iron play, he's just real. His tee ball, gee whiz. He's got good D, and he keeps it in front of him. His iron play, his short game has improved. Strokes, approach shots to the not approach to the green, around the greens. That's a chipping stat, right, Brendan?
Yep.
Around the greens, and that's improved. His bunker play, and he's making more putts. He's in a good place in his life, and his good friend Michael Jordan would say to him, you take that Ryder Cup thing and you post it on your bulletin board and you use it for motivation to go out there and play your best golf. And I think it's going to be a really big year for him. And I'm just going to kind of pick and choose where I go see him play. We're going to stay away from the Masters this year. He missed the cut there last year. I've never seen him so down because he's been playing so well. He hadn't missed anything. And we were all there. You rent 2 houses and there's family all over the place. So I told him, come on, just go with Jillian and your kids and focus. So I'm looking forward to watching the Masters on TV. Someone mentioned, I think it was Andy or Alan, your friend who watched the Ryder Cup on Sunday. And I'm out on the golf course. And so I'm here, I'm there. I was watching Cam Young, and then I moved over to Justin Thomas and watching them play. and it was all very exciting. I was right there when Shane made his putt, and all of that. I was there on 17 when Henley missed. So, but then the next day when I got home, I watched the Sunday golf on TV. Man, that was exciting stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible. So, I got it's I'll watch some golf on TV this year as well as go, but not as much. I'm going to watch it on TV. It's great on TV. So I'm sort of rambling here, but we need snow here in Jackson Hole so I can go
Hit the slopes. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are awesome. I really enjoy your show. I can't promise it, but I'll try to get my boy to come and say hey to you guys because you're really good. You ask great questions and you're in the business. You're in the trenches with me. And I appreciate it. I really do. You're brothers.
Well, Mark, my final thought is as to echo the same with the guys. Really appreciate it. Always great to have you as a co-host on the show. I am going to throw one little other thought because I just literally read it before we're going off, and we're going to let this one marinate. I'm sure Andy's going to have some thoughts on this next week. VJ is using his career money list exemption to secure his spot in the 2026 tour.
I saw something on the social networks about it, but I didn't know what they were talking about. So now I will look into this.
I'm going to dig into it deeper as well, Mark.
And so what's he doing? He's
using his career money list exemption to secure his spot on the tour this year.
And then you see a guy like Tommy Two Gloves pull out of the Corn Ferry event and let some young kid play. The opposite end of the spectrum. Isn't it true?
Yeah.
On that note, until next week, again, guys, enjoy. We'll talk to you soon.
Adios.